Sanbonan. Hi, babies. Wait, okay. I need to start by saying this shit is telling me that, poor connection, whatever, but I don't give a fuck. If you can't hear me, then just drop me a little comment, but it is what it is. I got stories. Like, I'm not fucking lying. I got so many stories. And you know where the danger is? Well, I'm just gonna talk a little bit and then I'm gonna tell you I've never seen so much drama. Okay, it wasn't drama per se, but so much happened. And you know where the thing is? Okay, if you want me to, I don't know how to work this thing. Oh God. What do you mean it is moderate? I'm an it is moderate. I don't know what that should mean, but I'm just gonna add. But I'm gonna tell you. So I was at where Kukuplap. Say Khamel or say Shemel Kukupi. Konalap in Santon, right? So I got there during the day, right? And then I did. I was going with my cousin and then was just going, right? And then everything's fine. You're not going to believe the first person that I saw Karen. You know, Karen is Edwin's girlfriend, right? Or whatever the fuck they're doing. I see them and then I'm like, okay, they're here. I actually saw Karen first. And then upon her seeing me, and then the way she was staring at me, I was like, okay, who the fuck is this bitch? Like, what the fuck? And then I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, it's actually Karen. I saw her like at a glimpse. I was like, okay, cool. And then I don't know how to share pictures. Can I add pictures here? Oh, then I can. So as we go along, then I'm going to share some pictures. I didn't get a picture of Karen and Edwin, but obviously I got a picture of the car. So that was fine. So I see them. They're minding my own business. I was there for my business. I'm drinking. I'm having a good time and whatnot. But then, then everybody in the thing is talking. And then I am there wanting to, I'm listening to everybody's business. I'm like, you know what? Me, I just like to gossip. So I'm going to listen to all these stories. Karen's IG handle is mustbk. Y'all know her. It's must_b_k. Mustbk. It's Karen's one of many girlfriends, right? She was there. Then she has the short hair. She looks pretty. She is a pretty girl. We have to say that. So, and then, she there and whatnot. And then, then one of my friends is like, okay, did you see that Edwin and Karen is there? I'm like, yeah, I did see Karen. Like, she was the first person I saw. Because when I walked in, I happened to be on the phone. I was talking to someone. But I was also still browsing around and I saw her. She was like literally shocked. And I'm like, okay, fine, Karen. It is what it is. I'm here. And then what the fuck are you going to do? Are you going to jump me in public? You and your dangerous Edwin. Like, what the fuck are y'all going to do? So, and then I'm sitting, but then let's get to the stories. And then I had that, Edwin, right? And then Edwin was like dating everybody. Remember? Remember that Edwin, then I did a hit list on him. And then, he's like dated like everybody. Kat Nala, dated, who's this bitch? That bitch with the bad English. That one. Kefilo Mabuta, right? Kefilwes, and there's like a whole list of them. Like, then I did that list, right? And then there's like a whole lot. So he was there, and then And then I seen him. But then, because then I'm also listening in the streets, I'm like, you know what, like, I'm trying to get information on him. Obviously, he's there, so I'm going to ask around all these people. I'm like, okay, like, does he still have money? And then they're like, okay, you know, they're like, no, he don't got money. Edwin Sodi, and then he don't got money, like, anymore. And then y'all know, right, he's, like, struggling and whatnot. But he don't got money. If you give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna share. Well, I've shared a picture of his car on my stories. But just stay. I'm gonna share shit as we move along because I did take like pictures and whatnot. Where the fuck is this car? This is the car, right? Is it on? Can you see it? Yeah, that's his car. Like his car nice. Oh my God. This is where I am. This is my place. Y'all people is messed up. No. This is just a background of my room. Okay, now you know where I live. So, yeah. Fucking shut up. So, it is what it is. So we can stop with the jail nonsense. This is not some jail. This is my fucking place. I'm sure you can see that. So anyway, and then, you know, they're saying that, yeah, Edwin did date Vanessa Paradis. It's like a whole lot of bitches. Like everybody, even Michali, like everybody. How the fuck do I remove this picture? But anyway, I don't give a fuck. But that is Edwin's car. And then his car is nice. And then let me tell you, okay, then he was there, and then he took this car. See how he's sitting? I was like literally sitting opposite his car, but his car was like parked at the far back, right? But I was like sitting opposite his car. And then he drove his fucking car and came literally straight towards me. And then it was just like he parked there for like a while. And then I'm there shaking. I'm like, oh my God. Can this fucking man move his car? And then that's when they were leaving because, you know, he was with that current bitch, right? I don't know how to fucking remove it. I'm new to this thing. Stop sharing. Okay, I stopped sharing. Good. So that's fine. And then the car is there and then he there. Shame. Like, I'm not going to lie. And then for like a second, then I was like shaking because then I was sober. I'm like, oh my God. And then you all know the presidential cartel people, they were sitting on my right, okay? And then Edwin is sitting on my left. I'm like, in between these people, I'm like, oh my God, this is how my story ends. This is it. Like, this is fucking it. It's going down tonight. And I'm like there, I'm like, I just need to get alcohol in my system. And I'm pumping more alcohol in me. I'm pumping. And then guess who I see? Guess who I see? I see, you know Malombo, right? Malombo is the president of the presidential cartel. He there. Let me share a picture. Because he was fucking there. How the fuck do I work this thing? But, you know, as we go along, and then I'm going to tell you, okay, this is, I took him like numerous pictures. That's his bag. And then, yeah, I'm going to show you more pictures because I took more pictures of him. He's like the president of the presidential cartel. And then let me tell you, and then the presidential cartel people, okay, you know, like they're many, they're like a group of them. And then when we walked in, okay, I didn't see them at first. I saw Karen. Karen was like on my right. And then I saw her. I was like, okay, here's this bitch. And then whatever. And then I said, so at the citation of me, I'm looking to my, because obviously I'm browsing everyone. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is happening? I'm browsing. I'm like, oh no, not the presidential cartel. Then you all remember that they were looking for me. And then in the clubs, and then on the Twitter, right? And then they were fucking looking for me, right? Okay, oh, fuck. Y'all bear with me. I don't know how to work this thing. And then there was like looking for me. I'm like, okay, like it is going down. I see him. He nice, he young. And then there's like a whole bunch of them. There was like a whole group in there, right? But then But then, and then they came to the table, that presidential cartel people, they came to my table. They so did. They came, and then, they like come one by one, and then they doing. But I took like a lot of pictures. I was like literally at work, and I was working for y'all. And then, okay, this is his, like, when he was like standing in front of me, right? That's him over there. He was like literally in front of me. I'm like, I need to sneak a picture, That's him. He's nice. He's good looking. It's whatever. But yeah, that is the dangerous man from the cartel, right? But then let me tell you, I want to tell you, but then they told me that dangerous people that I shouldn't tell, but then I don't know how to not tell. So, I don't know. I'm just going to tell then. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm going to tell you. Let me light a cigarette. Shit. I'm going to tell you because then this is when there was like at the table. Because they literally came to my table. They're so dead. You guys. Right. So then now we're getting to the juice. And then I'm going to give you all the juice. And then, there's this man. He's like very bitter, very, very bitter, a very bitter man. He's nice, but he was so bitter. So let me tell you. So, oh God. And then he was the vice president of the presidential cartel, right? And then he got broke. And then at the presidential cartel, and then they kicked him out. They got his ass out, and then he was there, and then he's like venting. I'm not going to tell you names. And then he's venting. And then, no, it's not Lord Phil. No, it's not Lord. Lord Phil is not at the presidential cartel. Malombo is the president of the presidential cartel, and then this one was the vice president of the presidential cartel, right? And then he very bitter. Oh, he's so bitter, that man. But then he was talking. And then, then I asked him, I'm like, are you sure, like, you want to say all this stuff in front of me? Like, that I blog, right? But do y'all really want to talk about all these things when I am here and then I'm listening? And then they're like, okay, then, I mustn't. There's like talking to me. They're like, okay, you mustn't talk about it. And then I mustn't. But I'm like, y'all don't know me, clearly. Like, y'all don't know me. But keep talking, but you won't. Don't talk all these things in front of me because me, I'm a tell. No. Edwin, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Malombo is not. Malombo is the president now. I'm telling you because I'm coming at the cartel, right? I was like, I'm telling you what they told me and what I was saying. Okay? And then, okay, let's get to who's at the cartel. I saw the fat man. He's like very fat. And then there was that one. I think he's colored. And then there was that one. And then, oh God, it's just that I can't tell you names. Then this one, okay, stick around. The ex-vice president that went broke and got kicked out of the cartel, right? And then he was confronting his friend that was gossiping about him at the cartel after he went broke. And then, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you. And then, so this one saying, I'm not going to say which one, because then they said I mustn't say. But, and then I'm saying, like, I can't give you names. I could, but I can't. Maybe I will. Stick around. Anyway, this one that went broke and got removed as the vice president of the cartel people, right? Then that one, he very bitter because after he went broke and then, you know, his cars were taken and then his things was like repossessed and shit. This is them talking. This is not me talking. This is what they saying. But I'm telling you what they were saying. And then that one got the cars and the houses in Bryanston repossessed and everything, right? So he like flat out broke. Like he's like flat out broke. So he mad that when he was like the vice president, you know, and then he was like balling money at them. And then his shit didn't come right. And then they was like gossiping about him at the cartel. So he very mad at all of them, like all of them, okay? And then what happens is, let me tell you, the cartel people don't got money. That's number one. They don't got long money. You know, they like go on the internet and then they like these big ass people with all the money. They don't have it. And then I'm going to tell you how I know they don't have it. Because I was there, they was talking, I was listening, and then, I was fucking there. So let me tell you. So this one, right, he say to be the vice president, right, and then he had 1.3 million. That's small money. Okay, not to us. Obviously to us it's a lot of money, but now think at the presidential cartel level, because, you know, they like got money, right? They say they got money, but they don't got it. They fucking don't have it. So this one, the one that was a vice president that went broke and then he got kicked out of the thing, Sidwell, that's the name. So anyway, then he say he had more money than the president. The president is Malombo, right? Let's get another picture of Malombo. Or if they get me, I don't give a fuck. But then we're gonna, like, I took him so many pictures. This is him when he was sitting, right? So this one, right? And then this one, the vice president, then had more money than this one on the picture, okay? And then he was like contesting, he was doing, right? So that's fine. And in my head, obviously, I'm working the math. I'm like, okay, so if you had to, you know, like rise away, because apparently, then I'm going to tell you how you get to be in the presidential cartel, because then they were talking about it. And then I was there, and then I was listening, right? So fine. This one that got kicked out because he went broke in 2020, he said. Then he went broke, and then his friends, then Maloma, and then there was gossiping about him. He's like very mad at them. He's so mad. He is so fucked up mad. So anyway, and then he had like the 1.3 million or whatever he had. That's how he like worked his way to being the vice president. So in my head, when I broke it down, I'm like, I mean, if you only need like 1 million to close being a boss to being a vice president, and you saying you had more money than the president, so that means the president got less money, right? So it means everybody underneath, because, you know, you start at the lower level, they say, and then you work your way up. How you work your way up, you need to spend money. So that cult people, they're all about spending money. And then they don't got it. They fucking don't got it. I saw them. And then I'm like, okay, y'all people don't got money. Okay, there was like that table wasn't even like busy. It's not like there was like bowling, like a lot of money, There wasn't. And then I was like throwing shade at them, like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, so it means y'all got new money. Because, old money is old money. And then people with old money, they don't flash their money, they don't do those things. That is old money. But if you have new money and then you're gonna spend it around, you're gonna flash, and then let me tell you. So that other one say, okay, then he was confronting his friend for gossiping about him to the cartel. And then he say, then remember when, okay, this is him speaking, right? And then he like, remember when you was like a nobody, and then I was buying you like diesel jeans, I was buying you like all that expensive clothes and whatnot when you wasn't working, and I was like doing all these things for you, right? He telling him, the other one that came to the table, because this was like happening at my table. They was like confronting each other at my table. That was not smart. They shouldn't have done that. So they doing their small s confrontation, and then this one, the one that was like the ex-president, right, confronting the one that is in the group now. Like, then I bought you clothes with my money when I was balling with the millions, and I was doing and I was doing. And then I went broke, and then you wasn't like, and then you went and gossiped about me. And then he say the other the presidential cartel people, right, told him that they were gossiping about him. So he very mad, he very bitter. He's so angry. That man, he was so angry, and he was telling them one by one at my table. How, hey, shut your mouth, Wena. How dare they come and when I have all their fights at my table and do their confrontations? I'm like, anyway. And then that bitter one says, and then let me tell you, get closer. And then he say, like, get very close. And then he say, he got shot 9 times. And then he made me feel his bullets, like all over his body. Like one on the thing, on the shoulder, on his stomach, at the everywhere. He's like, I must feel all these bullets. And then I'm just touching. I'm like, oh my God, all these bullets. These are so many bullets. And then he got them, that fucking bullets, all over his body. And then I'm asking him. And then I'm like, where they, like, how the fuck? Then I'm coming. There's Buhle Samuel story. It's coming. And then I'm like, how did you get all these bullets? There's like so many all over his body. Like I touched them. He made me feel them. He's like, I must feel. I'm like, I'm feeling everywhere. In the stomach, on the belly, on the everywhere. And then I'm like, how the hell did you get all these bullets? And then, and then he was like, I don't know, they like do dangerous work, right? And then they do. And then he was like, people was like shooting him. And then he went, and then he was shooting at them back. Like, like firing, and then he firing at them. Like that type of situation. That's how he got them, 9 of them. And I felt all of them all over his body. Anyway, oh my God. I was literally at the danger. And then let me tell you, remember when, then everybody knows this story, right?
Hi, SR Squad. Musa Khawula says that he went to the presidential cartel man cult. And if I'm not mistaken, what I have heard about that presidential cartel is that you guys will let me know if I'm sharing the wrong information, but from what I've heard is that the presidential cartel is where like men, women come together, and it's like sort of a sex house, you guys. And then everybody just grabs whoever they want. If you're vibing with anybody, things like that, no phones, things like that. So now I'm just so confused because Musa Khawula says that he went to the presidential cartel, and then he found Edwin Sodi and others that I don't know. Maybe you guys know them, but I personally just don't know them. And I know Edwin Sodi because of, my Pepandaba back then, like it was sharing a lot about men who cheat on their wives, things like that. So yeah, man, I'm just so confused if Musa Khawula went to the presidential, the one that we know of, because the one that we know of, you can't. But anyway, you guys. And let me know, what do you think about the presidential cartel cult man? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just pronouncing this name incorrectly because I am so exhausted, but I have to like record. I'm so sorry. This is the only video I will be pronouncing names incorrectly. But anyway, you guys, do comment down below. Let me know, what do you think about this.